Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Celebrity Challenge, and we have we have the worst cooks in America. This is from this Food Channel, I believe. I'm not sure why the Food Channel is on Disney Plus, but and we have a lot of new reality shows over the last few months. Disney Plus has been adding reality shows from other networks that don't normally fall in with that main structure of networks. Because with all the Lifetime stuff, yeah, they own Lifetime and probably USA and again, endless. There's an endless tree of sub networks that fall under the Disney umbrella that I just didn't realize, or they're just buying the content and putting it on here to give a diversity of options that are not just Disney cartoons, because they are, hey, there's at least one person who has watched nearly everything on Disney Plus. That's me. At least one episode of every show, at least every short, every month. We got 4, 5 movies left, if you count the Predators that I've just added. The Predator movies, but yeah, not actual predators. So yeah, and all the documentaries, everything National Geographic's ever put out, I think, on Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm getting closer and closer to watching all those. By summertime, I will have watched everything on Disney Plus. That aside, I've now watched an awful lot of reality shows, and I hate reality shows. I hate them so much because they're never real. But when it comes to shows like this, the worst cooks in America, we get a competition that is not snobby and made with the most cultured and skilled chefs in the world, which they all certainly are, and they work hard. They have worked hard to reach those levels of excellence. That is not the case here. These are people who are like, you know what, I'm sick of giving my kids chicken nuggets, and I want to make something for my wife or my girlfriend or my husband, or I just want to be able to entertain and maybe make something that everybody can eat, including myself. The goal of this show seems to also be, let's not kill the judges with food poisoning. Hopefully that is accomplished throughout the season. But in this case, and by the way, I meant to watch the first episode of the earliest season that Disney Plus has. It says there's 6 seasons here, but you can see this is season 29. So Disney Plus only has a very small percentage of these seasons. I imagine you might be able to watch more of them on Hulu. So, but they don't make you dig for it. This, I think, is, if it's not the most recent season, it's pretty close. So yeah, this is from 2010 to 2025. And due to the loss of the host Anne Burrell, I don't know if they're going to continue. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they've made any decisions. She had passed away last summer through circumstances I'm not going to discuss here. But sadly, Anne Burrell, who is the host, she's the white kind of mohawk-haired lady. She's got just tall hair, and it's very white. And she's the one who's the main host of this series, right? I guess for most of it. And again, I don't know if there's spin-offs or if there's like some seasons are like celebrity focused versus others that are just normal, very strange people. Not normal, very strange people. This season 29 does feature a large, like 12 people of all different types of skills who are very, let's say, enthusiastic. And they are strong personalities, and they kind of want. I mean, hey, they're in all sorts of angles. How should I say this? They're from all parts of the entertainment world. There's a juggler. There's an opera singer. There's a musical theater singer. There is a gymnast. There's a parkour guy. I don't know what you call a parkourist. I don't know. There's somebody who plays violin, and there's a clown. They all seem like clowns, but there's a clown in this, and he's not in full makeup because I think with all the heat of the ovens and the cooking, ranges and stuff, his makeup would have dripped a lot. But he does get a red nose in there every so often, and everybody does dress very colorfully. And nobody looks the same. There's not like 6 white guys in the corner with slightly the same beard doing the same thing. No, they all are distinctly different for the camera, and they do stand out. They do. Some of them are very, very strange in a good way and fun. Some are a little obnoxious, but that's also okay because you know what? If they draw your attention and stick in your memory, Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It might get them visibility. It's like, hey, I was on the worst cooks in America. And they're like, okay, you're hired for this carnival. Maybe. Maybe they'll show up. Some of them have traveled the world, around the country, doing the thing that they are eminently skilled. Not eminently, but very skilled in. They just can't cook. And it shows. And you get to see. By the way, I think I said this earlier, but I don't remember. It's only been 5 minutes. But I was going to watch season 18, the first episode of that, because, you get to dig back as deep as I can here. I accidentally chose the first episode of the most recent season. This one that you see right here, I think. No, maybe? I don't know. That first episode is an hour and 24 minutes long. So I spent a lot more time watching that one than I really intended to, because I'm not going to watch the rest of them. It's just not my thing. I might, maybe, no, I don't, I'm not going to skip to the end and go see who won. It's a competition where people get eliminated for being truly the worst cook in America. But at the same time, their job, Anne and her co-host Gabrielle Bartucci? I'm sorry, Gabe. I could run out of the room and come back and say his name somewhat properly, but I'm not going to do that. And the IMDb has so many names. There's so many celebrities in this, so many celebrity chefs and cooks that I guess act as judges, and there's also just tons and tons of just cast members, people who showed up to cook badly. And we get to see the very first step. We get introduced to them as they're given the assignment to cook something, and they had to have been prompted to do this, do that, and they just use their creativity mixed with whatever ingredients were thrown in front of them, I guess. And holy cow, that was it. It was a train wreck, and it's meant, again, it's really meant to have us meet these people, understand who they are, where they come from, what they do for a living, what they do for fun, and why they want to compete. Why were they picked? Well, obviously because they have big personalities and would work well with the camera. You do not want somebody like me who's not a great cook at all, who would just be like, oh, my claim to fame is doing 2,300 Disney Plus series episodes talking about stuff that's on Disney Plus. No. I'm not. I can be funny, but yeah, I'm not a. I don't have any bright clothing and props, and yeah, there's a stand-up. I think he's a comedian and a puppeteer, and he's a thing for ducks. He's also in this. He wants to move out of his parents' house. Yeah, so. So we get these people thrown in front of us, and we get to see just the absolute weirdness that is thrown at them. And it seems that Anne and Gabe are introduced to them for the first time. Gabe, who is the co-host for this season, for just the 7 episodes, is already regretting his decision to be here, it sounds like, because he's just like, can I get on the plane tomorrow? Can I just leave? But because, part of this is giving out insults. They are the worst. They come here going, the host will say bad things about you. You're cooking primarily, and they might be sarcastic in the way you conduct yourself. But please, conduct yourself in as strange and as memorable and in your face as possible. Because that makes for good entertainment. It makes for a good show. It makes for... Conflict makes this kind of show. It's a competition. Whether you're conflicting with your other competitors, or you're conflicting with Anne, which there's a few awkward moments in this first episode as they're all getting to know each other. I don't think anything is meant to be mean-spirited, but it's certainly brutally honest when it comes to just how dry your chicken is, or how just there's no seasoning and this tastes horrible, basically. It's just inedible, and hopefully, I was thinking that maybe they can't eat that much food because they have to sample all the food. It's a dozen people in this first episode, so I imagine they go and then off camera spit it out just once they got the taste and texture out of the way. Because I can't see them just eating chunks of chicken. or whatever else they were making, especially in that first round. The second round, they show them how to cook a good chicken dinner. It looks delicious, looks amazing. They're taking notes, and they are given, what is it, an hour? Each time I think they were given an hour to accomplish that same thing. And to varying degrees of horrible, they each did that. And it's all varying degrees of horrible. Nobody just suddenly go, oh, I got it. It makes sense. I do this, and then I do this, and I do this. Nope. And again, to fail is also to bring attention. And I honestly couldn't believe, even though they were only going to eliminate 2 of them, I couldn't believe that so many of them made it. Like, if it's the worst chef competition, I think all of them would have been eliminated if that's how the show worked. You have 1 episode a season in this case, because they are truly bad. Not that I would do any better, but no, I think I would do better. I just wouldn't be as interesting. So, it's just, if you're interested in this kind of thing, it's a lot more humorous. It's a lot more chaotic, because when you're dealing with these other professional chef type competitions, they know what they're doing. So, yeah, sure, there's roadblocks here and there. Something doesn't cook the right way, doesn't get garnished the right way, doesn't get plated the way they want, and that's understandable. And they're going up, the best going up against the best, and some of them are just not going to reach that level, and it's a hard choice. Where they lead with, this is what's great, this is what's great, this is also really good what you made. But in this case, they start with, this is absolutely just inedible. It doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good. It doesn't taste good. But you did a little something here that was all right. It is cooked. You cooked it this time. So it's a flip flop. But also through this, you get a lot of humor, and you gotta have a strong spine. For these competitors have to have a strong spine, because they have to be told ahead of time that they're going to be insulted. Their cooking is going to be insulted, and sometimes they will be teased and mocked a little bit, but that is part of it. And you can't be just breaking down in tears because they said something bad about your chicken dinner. You're not gonna. It's not gonna be worthwhile watching you cry every week just because you can't cook a decent meal. That's why you're on the show. You're supposed to suck. But at least, hopefully, by the end of the season, somebody makes something edible, and everybody survives physically. So, yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit different, and it's a little bit more fun, and you have to, as a viewer, you have to have a certain level of tolerance for just the absolute weird. And weird is good to me, so it made it interesting. But there's a lot of times where I get a little bit cringy. I'm like, please stop, please stop. And because I know that they're just, yeah, but it's also, they got to keep going because that's who they are. That's what will make them memorable to the audience, and maybe it'll bring them new things, make them new opportunities outside this series. So that's good. So yeah, I say definitely check it out if you're looking for it. If the other shows are a little bit too snooty and you're not going to be able to ever eat the types of foods or make the type of foods. A lot of these shows are meant to be inspiration for budding chefs, young and old, who want to make their own meals and make some really interesting things, even though they don't give you the actual recipe for that chicken dinner they did in the first episode here. I think you can kind of follow along, and I imagine that maybe they might have stuff on a website somewhere that might have had the same instructions. I don't know. That would make sense. But, yeah. This is a little bit more difficult to get through than some of those really serious ones, but it's a bit more fun, too. All right, let's pick tomorrow's episode. 11. 101 to 11. What do we got? Oh, okay. Again, majority of the stuff that we have left on Disney Plus are mostly fall in the red category, which is documentaries, reality shows, concerts, behind the scenes, stuff like that. That's just a bit more. That's not scripted, technically. Reality shows are all scripted, but still not scripted movies, not scripted series, not scripted shorts. This is a catch-all for all of them. Before Disney put on so many reality shows, but of course, without all these reality shows, I would think I would have been done by now, and maybe that would make people happy. I don't know, but in this case, we have a bit of a mystery. It's a real-world mystery about, I guess, it's an ID mystery. Yeah, it's another network that has mysteries, and for some reason, it's exclusively on Disney Plus. I think it's also on Hulu, but you don't have to have Hulu to see it. This is all about the wonderful Brittany Murphy, an ID mystery. If you know Brittany Murphy, she was in Clueless, and she was on King of the Hill, and that's what I mostly know her from. She's in a bunch of other stuff. But we're going to talk about her tomorrow after I watch the ID Mystery. Brittany Murphy and ID Mystery is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.